Episode 3 of The Ultimate Fighter Season 31 just happened. I'm going to give you a quick little recap and a little bit of a reaction of what happened this episode. Stuff that's pretty important, I guess. Kind of give you an idea before, if you even watch this episode in general, of what to look out for, what you can probably skip through. In all honesty, this episode kind of just went. It was pretty meh, the whole episode. I wasn't expecting too much because I saw the previews of it and it didn't look like much was happening. And that's pretty much what we got. So just getting into the recap real quick. We have Team McGregor versus Team Chandler. As of before this episode, Conor McGregor is 0-2 on the show. And moving in to the first part of the episode, they actually started out with the backstories early on. So I was like, all right, they're making room for this episode. This is a little bit different. They start out with the backstories and they kind of include a little bit of the training. They show Conor's team and then Chandler's team. For Conor's team, they have Aaron McKenzie, and for Chandler's team, they have Austin Hubbard. That's the matchup actually happening. For Aaron McKenzie, he was kind of doing a stand-up. Like, he didn't look that bad. I believe he is the LFA World Champion. I think he's, the lightweight champion? So, I mean, he can't be too bad, right? But from what I saw, he wasn't horrible on the feet. He wasn't the gentleman guy. He wasn't that bad on the feet, but I figured he wouldn't be too great if he's like the best grappler. Just looking at some of the prospects they had on the show, I wasn't expecting too much on the feet here, but I believe one of his teammates threw a body kick and it kind of hurt his ribs a little bit. I don't know if he broke a rib or if it just hurt it in general, but they kind of showed that a little bit more here. And then also something to point out, I believe Aaron McKenzie is older than Austin Hubbard, and he is the prospect here, so that's pretty interesting. I guess it's more prospect versus veteran, so guys who are in the UFC are going to be on one side and guys who aren't in the UFC are going to be on the other, I guess. That kind of makes sense. I don't know. But I believe Aaron McKenzie is like 3 years older than Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard's like 31. Aaron McKenzie's like 34. Just thought that was pretty interesting in general, but I don't know. That was pretty much all it was. Backstory. This little thing where he injures his rib. And then we kind of just flow right through it. And then we have, of course, I think you've seen the clip. That was pretty much the only thing other than some of the stuff with the camp and him injuring his rib, and then the backstory that kind of takes up a whole bunch with the ad skipping through. So you're probably about like 20-25 minutes into this episode already, and you have Conor McGregor meeting up with this kid. I guess the kid drives down from California, shows him his figures that he made. Conor gives him $1,200, which is actually pretty cool of him to do. And then we move on to the weigh-ins, and then they have the fight. And by this time, it's like 30 minutes into this episode, so I'm like, all right, it's gonna go to the third round. Very cool. Should be a fun little matchup. We'll see what happens. So for the matchup, I guess I kind of just gave it away for there. But for the matchup, Austin Hubbard wins this one by decision. McKenzie does have a couple moments on the feet in the second round, but in the first round, he was kind of just looking for takedowns. Austin Hubbard did really good defending him, and he landed some really good shots in the first round. Second round, he looked a little bit better, McKenzie did, on the feet, but then couldn't really get a takedown, and I guess in the first round, he actually got rocked very badly. I thought he was going to get finished, but I think there was like 1 minute left in the first round, and he got beaten up pretty badly. I think he got hit with like a left hook and then a knee. It was a pretty brutal knockdown. Kind of survived that, but in the second round, he didn't really have too much. Looked decent on the feet, kind of like he got moved a little bit more after he got hurt. He started going a little bit more. Didn't really do much there. Got pinned to the ground, got beaten up. Couldn't really do much. Austin Hubbard gets the win. Good for him. I thought it was going to sway the other way. I don't know. 30 minutes for a 10-minute matchup is kind of insane to me. That kind of gives you the idea of how much filler they put in these episodes. Just to keep that in mind. If it goes into a decision, a 10-minute matchup, half of the episode is going to be barred off and you're going to have no entertainment value there. So I recommend looking at After Tough. I think I saw something about Conor making pancakes for his team. I guess if you're interested in some kind of entertainment value other than some of these fights that you don't really care about at this point. Like, I get the semifinal ones because those are kind of interesting a little bit more, or like the next rounds. But this one where you get stuff with everyone's backstory, I think they should just have these guys fight, and then in the second round show some more of their backstory, and then you can kind of include a little bit more of the drama and all that. But to each their own. Conor is now 0-3 on the season after Hubbard does beat, I was going to say Jennerman, but McKenzie, he's not as bad as Jennerman, but beats McKenzie in this matchup. So we have Conor McGregor 0-3 versus Michael Chandler. The next matchup is going to be Trevor Wells versus Timur Valiev. So I believe that matchup was supposed to happen 2 fights ago or 1 fight ago. and I believe Wells got the cold sore on his face, so it didn't end up happening. The doctors kind of pulled him. So this matchup's going to be happening. The preview does look kind of interesting. It does seem like there's some other stuff going on in the episode. They show Timur Valiev kind of worried about making the weight, which was his concern immediately when the fight did get canceled. He's like, I'm going to have to make weight again, brother. I have to make weight again. Is like, so they kind of showed Chandler asking to get a catch weight at 145, and it doesn't sound like Conor McGregor approves of it at all. So we'll see what happens here. I think Timur Valiev is going to win the season, but 2 weight cuts, especially for a Dagestani guy, that's going to be very rough. We'll see how much it impacts him. I believe Wonderboy does make an appearance on the show. Another thing that they showed a couple episodes ago when previewing this fight, they showed Islam Makhachev watching Timur Valiev spar or whatever. You didn't see that in the previews of this episode. So I don't know if they spoiled it if Timur Valiev does beat Trevor Wells here, but they kind of teased it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in this next episode, which is a good thing. But they kind of tease, like, will Conor McGregor finally get his win? Like, they're building that part up. This is like their premier matchup, I guess, but they're building it up where it seems like they might actually, like, Conor might actually get a win here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. If you do see Islam in there, okay, it's kind of whoever wins this. 2 weight cuts for Valiev, who cuts a lot of weight, I guess. I don't know too much about how his weight cuts are, but it sounds like he cuts quite a bit of weight. Might be rough on him, but if you don't see Islam Makhachev, you'll probably see him, like, you can probably guess Timur Valiev's going to win. So this episode, I would say probably a 5 out of 10. It just covered the bases, I guess. Backstory, camp, weigh-ins, decision. That was pretty much all it was. There wasn't too much going on in this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is all I got. Timur Valiev versus Trevor Wells. I think Valiev's going to win, but we'll see what happens with the weight cuts. And I think some of the more interesting episodes will come down later. You see, like, some of the previews where Conor McGregor, like, pushes Michael Chandler. I think that happens with the Lee Hammond fight because that's his guy. And maybe the more of the, what was it? The Roosevelt, like, screaming at Conor on the sideline. I think that might be after Lee Hammond wins, and then when Conor pushes Chandler, I think that's when Lee Hammond loses. So that'd be my guess. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.